speaker, Dr. Eddie Connor Jr.
Please welcome Dr. Eddie.
Eddie Connor has become a much in-demand motivational speaker.
Because when you speak to me, I can speak to the mountain and it got to move.
Television, radio, college campuses, and with faith.
Use what you have to be empowered and to be inspired.
Local author Eddie Connor's message to overcome obstacles and believe in yourself is something we all can associate with. And he's constantly giving back to the community.
I am joined now by local Detroit author, Dr. Eddie Connor Jr.
The tragedy is to be gifted, but to never open a package.
Once I'm broken, that's when my anointing is getting ready to come out. That's when my gift is getting ready to flow.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is yours truly, Dr. Eddie. Listen, you are in the mix at 6. This is where I take the little time each and every single day, weekdays and weekends, to empower you to soar at 6. You're in the mix with yours truly. Listen, I need you to let me know where you're watching from. We are on the YouTube side. I encourage you, if you watch me on Facebook, if you watch me on Instagram, if you're watching me on TikTok, and we don't stop. I can't forget about my Twitter family too. Wherever you are watching me from, I need you to make sure that you tap in. Let me know where you're watching from. What city are you in? Yeah, where you're located. I greet you in any language. I may not know a whole bunch of them. I wouldn't call myself bilingual, but I'll tell you bonjour. I'll tell you buenos dias. And since I'm from Detroit, my hometown is Motown, I'll tell you what up, though. All right, that's for sure. Let me know where you are watching from. What city are you in? I hope you are having a great day. I'm seeing people chiming in from New Jersey. Sophia from New Jersey. JP Lewis from London. Let me know what's up. Those of you on YouTube, I needed you to join me on YouTube. YouTube is Beverly, Chicago. Jasmine, good evening to you too. Let me know where you are chiming in from and connect with me on YouTube. I need you to like. I need you to comment. I need you to share. I need you to subscribe. Do I need to get all up in the screen and let you know what I mean? I need you to like. I need you to comment. I need you to share. I need you to subscribe. I need you to do all 3. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Yeah, I don't want to yell tonight. Hit the notification bell so I ain't got to yell. All right, because I need you. Why do I want you to hit the notification bell? So I want you to stay locked. I want you to stay loaded. I want you to stay connected. Because we are in the mix at 6 every single day, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are live and in color. That's what it is. So like, comment, share, subscribe. Show your boy some love. Show your main man some love. And this is just where I just take the time out of my day each and every single day, really just to empower you, to talk about topics, to talk about certain things that just may be brewing, just may be on my mind, things that I know that in many cases we're looking to get clarity from. Just a laid back conversation, me kicking it. No, I ain't suited and booted. And I'm just chilling, right? I'm just chilling. So sometimes you'll catch me in a hoodie, sometimes you catch me in a zip up, sometimes you may catch me in a button up, whatever the case may be. Hopefully, I ain't got to be too formal with y'all. Just a little informal conversation. Yes. Shouting out a few more people. Here we go. As you all are coming in, let me know what city you're watching from. I think I saw North Carolina, Kenya, Detroit, Rachel G, Texas, Teresa, Detroit. What up, though? My hometown Motown family is holding me down. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem. Yeah, we have a problem, ladies and gentlemen. You know what that problem is? the problem that we grapple with, the problem that we have, the problem that we have to really address is the fact not that we aim too high and we miss it, but that we aim too low and we reach it. Let me say that twice because that was so nice. Our problem, people, our problem, folks, our problem, family, is not that we aim too high and we miss it, but we aim too low and we reach it. In many cases, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to renew our mind. We're going to have to make some new moves in a new year, but the only way to make new moves is that we have a new mindset. You know, it may not be something that is something that we're used to, may not be something that is near and dear to us and that is true to us, but it has to become an adopted philosophy. Has to become an adopted mindset. Because in the midst of all the fallacies, the false narratives about ourselves, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to discover the truth about ourselves. And that's why I want to share tonight really on the topic of moving from pain to purpose. I want to share on that specific topic on really how to find wisdom from our wounds. Right? A lot of things have hit us. I was reading a book. I'm actually reading a book now. It's a book that we're reading for our academy, the Eagles Academy, and it's a book by Robert Kiyosaki called Rich Dad Poor Dad. You know, financial literacy, financial development. And I was reading the book right before our session tonight, and there was a particular quote. He said, "You know, life is going to do two things to you. Life is going to make you do two things. One is that life is going to push you and you're just going to fall by the wayside, or you're going to get angry enough and you're going to push back." Yeah. Life is just going to do two things. It's going to make you do one or two things. It's going to push you and you're going to just fall by the wayside. You're just going to give up. You're just going to throw your hands up. You're just going to quit. Or you're going to get angry enough. You're going to get mad enough. Mad is making a difference. To push back. Right? Pray until something happens. Praise until something happens. Ponder until something happens. Position yourself until something happens. And I don't think many of us have become angry enough, mad enough, fed up enough to say, listen, something's got to change. Right? When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And what a lot of us need to do, for us to really begin to see things and see life through a different lens, we're going to have to change our prescription. We're going to have to adjust our vision. We're going to have to begin to focus on our focus. We're going to have to understand that life is what we've heard. Life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react to it. But here's what we do. And we've heard that quote before. Life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react to it. But here's the thing. 90% of the time we focus on the 10% to where now the 10% becomes 100% of our lives. Let me say that again. Let me put that thing in reverse. Let me park right there and put it in reverse. Let me shift this to another gear this year. Life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react to it. We've all heard that. But let me take it to another degree. Let me take it to another level. 90% of the time we focus on the 10% to where now the 10% becomes 100% of our lives. What are you saying to me, Dr. Eddie? The pain of what you went through in your childhood, only 10%. People talking about you, not just in your face, but behind your back. People miscounting you. And I heard Cat Williams say, right, all right. Since everybody talking about Cat Williams, let me say a little something, right? The cat is out the hat, I guess. I heard what he said. He said, you know, if you miscounted me, you just can't count. Life is 10% what happens to you, 90% how you react to it. The flip side is that 90% of the time we focus on the 10% to where now the 10% becomes 100% of our lives. The divorce, only 10%. The trial and the tribulation, only 10%. What I went through, 2024, even though I'm wearing 23, you don't know what it is. 2024, year of 2024 marks 24 years of me being cancer-free. Cancer made me cry, but it didn't make me quit. Only 10%. Your father not being in your life, the mother wounds, the father wounds, the issues of what it is that you're grappling with, the divorce, the breakup, the mental discombobulation, the depression, the low self-esteem, the stereotypical views that people have of you who judge you and don't even have a law degree. People make assertions about you but don't even know you. They only know you through what people say about you. Only 10%. And I got to change my mind about how I view myself. I got to change my mind about how I allow stinking thinking to become my lot in life. We got to change our mindset about allowing people's opinions to become our prison. Will this be the same year that you do this? Will this be a different year where you do the same thing and you stay stuck in the same old way and the same old idea and the same old ideal and the self-concept about who it is that you are because you are concerned about what other people think about you? Here's the thing. Why are you so concerned about what other people think about you? Most people don't think anyway. Dr. King said one of the most painful things for people to do is just to sit and think. Probably now more than ever before. We have so many distractions and disruptions that want to stop us from processing our own mindset and our own self-concept and our idea and our particular paradigm of who it is that we are. So where now we just live on autopilot. We go through the year and we never take it to another gear. And so the plans that we make in January, the plans that we made December 31st, plans that we make in January, the plans that we made for this year are the same plans that we made for last year and the years prior, and nothing ever gets done. This has to not be that same year. We have to shift from pain to purpose. Hear me. As I said, 90% of the time we focus on the 10% to where now the 10% becomes 100% of our lives. When I view what was painful as what can now become purposeful, I shift my mindset. I shift my life to another level. I know it made you cry, but it can't make you quit. I know it hit you. I know it knocked you down, but like my mama told me, she said, a knockdown is not a knockout unless you stay down. You got to get back up again. Muhammad Ali said, the canvas is no place for a champion. I got to understand, as I've been saying, as I've been adopting this motto, that it's going to be better, it's going to be bigger, and it's going to be brighter. For those of y'all watching me, especially, I need y'all to shift over to the YouTube side. It's cool. Yeah, shift over to the YouTube side. I need you to like. I need you to comment. I need you to share. I need you to subscribe. I need you to type. My Facebook family, my Instagram family, my Twitter, TikTok, YouTube for show. I need you to just type better, bigger, brighter. Better, bigger, brighter. I know we don't like to type a lot, so just put B3. Right? I know I probably got a few lazy typers with me. It's okay. Better, bigger, brighter. B3. If it's to be, it's up to me. And so let's get into it tonight. Some of y'all probably saying, well, I thought you already got into it. No, it's just a little intro. Just an intro, just to feel the tempo. Better, bigger, brighter. If you're joining me tonight, we are in the mix at 6. We do this every single weekday, weekend. My friend, right here, just me, just taking a little time just to kick back, have some conversation, talk about some pertinent topics, and really to make your life be bigger, better, brighter, and for you to soar higher. That's what it's all about. And so what truth have you discovered about yourself? Despite your experiences, despite many of the things that you have gone through and that you've grappled with, how have you been able to grow through what it is that you go through? We talked last night, we talked yesterday about how to triumph from trauma. If you haven't checked that out, go check out Triumph from Trauma. Trauma to Triumph. Go check out the one that was previous to that. Becoming More in 2024 and the one previous to that. Y'all binge watch everything else. You binge watch everything on Netflix. Y'all binge watch to be entertained. I want you to be empowered, and I'm gonna weave a little entertainment into it. I always do that too. You know, I ain't forcing it. It's a flow. So I want you to binge watch all that. But like I was talking about yesterday, I mentioned the fact that you have to understand that what you've been through doesn't define you. Hear me. What you've been through doesn't define you. If anything, it ought to refine you, right? It ought to make you stronger. You went through the fire, but you coming out smelling like Theory Mugler perfume. You went through the fire, but you coming out smelling like Issey Miyake cologne. You went through the fire, but you coming out smelling like Jean-Paul Gaultier. Don't tell me I can't pronounce no French. You came through the fire, but you coming out smelling like Clive Christian cologne and Gucci, and y'all got it all in your closet and your bathroom and all that stuff, right? What you've been through does not define you. It should refine you. Every experience that you and I have gone through, we got to use that experience to forge ourselves into the future. We have to understand this. I need you to get this in your system tonight. And I'm not talking to you tonight. I'm talking to survivors. I'm talking to people who have literally been to hell and back. I'm talking to people who, you know, they had all the reason why they should have quit. They had all the reason why they should have given up. They had all the excuses, but they turned what was an excuse to being able to execute. That's who I'm talking to tonight. I ain't talking to no quitters. I'm talking to survivors. I'm talking to people who are not just going to survive, but people who are being set up with strategies and solutions to thrive, who are angry enough, who are mad enough, MAD, making a difference, to say, listen, I'm not giving up on myself. God didn't give up on me. I'm not giving up on my dream. I'm not giving up on my idea. I'm not giving up on my purpose. I'm not giving up on my plan, because I've been predestined to make it. And as a result of it, you got to understand this. You are not a thermometer. You are a thermostat. You're not a thermometer. You are a thermostat. Why do I say that? Simply because a thermometer just reflects the setting. A thermometer just reflects the atmosphere. A thermometer simply just reflects the temperature. But a thermostat sets the temperature. Stop adjusting to the time. Stop adjusting to the environment. Stop adjusting to the atmosphere. Stop adjusting to negative thoughts and negative opinions. Stop adjusting to when people castigate doom and gloom and say this is going to be a tough year financially. Not for me. You can miss me with that. Prosperity, who this? Joy, who this? Peace, increase. You got to miss me with that. You ain't talking to me. All right? Because I'm not just a survivor. I'm a person who's going to thrive. I'm not just going to survive. I'm going to thrive. I'm not a thermometer. I'm a thermostat. I don't reflect. I set the atmosphere. I set the temperature. I set how my day is going to be. I don't allow life to dictate to me. I dictate to it. Right? Because I am in demand, I'm now making demands. I'm making demands on my life. I'm making demands on my destiny. I'm making demands on my relationships. I'm making demands on my time. All the thermostats, all the thermostats who refuse to reflect and decide to set, just put your emoji hands in the air and wave them around like you really do care. Drop some emoji hands. Drop some fire emojis. Tonight is not just a monologue, it's a dialogue. As I said before, every experience has to forge you into your future. I need you to understand this tonight. We cannot be in alignment with our divine assignment. We cannot be in alignment with our assignment until we have healed from trauma and renewed our mind. And so I ask you tonight, what insight, what knowledge, what revelation have you discovered from your wounds? What wisdom have you gained from your wounds? Are you living from the pain of your past in the power of your present? Or are you also connected to the faith for your future? We had such a powerful conversation yesterday about moving from trauma to triumph that I thought the narrative really needed to be continued. And for me as well, I had to discover the truth about my trauma. I had to discover the truth about my trauma of parents divorced when I was young, and father's not in my life. And so oftentimes, boy becoming a man or seeking to become one, oftentimes the question is asked, how do you become a man if you didn't see one, much less interact with one? How do you play a role if you weren't given a script? Grappling through issues of self-identity or low self-esteem or negative self-concept, not believing in myself, being reticent and hesitant and negligent to really step out, to move into a place of authenticity, clarity, power of identity. Being diagnosed with cancer in high school, when everybody is, hanging with the clique and the crew, going to homecoming, going to the basketball games, playing on the team and all that, and you're confined to a hospital bed, or you're confined to getting chemotherapy, radiation. Me losing my hair, my self-confidence, my self-esteem. Will to live. Traumatic experiences. I don't know if you ever been through something in your life to where it was just so bad to where, listen, you wouldn't even wish it on your worst enemy. Yeah. Wouldn't wish it on your worst enemy. All of those things that are traumatic, all those things that are painful, in many cases, sometimes it can make you throw in the towel. Sometimes it can make you want to give up. Sometimes it can make you be so perplexed and move into a place to where you don't move into a place to where your faith is mobilized, but in many cases, you become fearful to where now you feel paralyzed. What you have endured, yes, it may have been painful, but it can be transformed into something purposeful. It can be transformed into something powerful. As I put myself on Front Street, my father not being there for me, people overlooking me, experiencing rejection, fighting cancer, almost barely making it through high school. My favorite two classes in school were gym and lunch. And my grades were indicative of that. Then getting to college on probation because my grades wasn't the greatest. Barely being able to afford college. Almost having to drop out due to lack of money. Then, you couple with that poor decision making. Being told what I would never be, what I would never become, what I would never overcome. Internalizing all of that. That shapes you not at being an unlimited thinker. It shapes you moving into a place of limited thinking. And now your beliefs become limited. You move into a place of limited beliefs. You allow what people say to set up barriers in your own life, versus creating healthy boundaries and say, no, 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 you can't come over here with that. I know who it is that I am. I know who it is that I am. Right? It's one thing to fall down. It's one thing to be knocked down. But it's another thing to stay down. And what we have to do is we have to get to the place to where we rise to the occasion, to where we use the trauma, where we use the triggers, to where we use the toxicity, not as a stumbling block, but as a stepping stone, using the trauma, the toxicity, the trials, the tribulations, the triggers, all as a place of using it as a testimony. And so what you have to do is you have to discover the truth about your life. You have to discover the truth about yourself. What people say to you does not become your truth unless you accept it as your truth. What people call you only matters if it is what you answer to. Right? And when you discover the truth about yourself, you now find revelation in your situation. You finding revelation in your situation shapes you to think differently, shapes you to act differently, shapes you to move into a place to where you are distinct and where you are distinguished. Right? And when you begin to develop that revelation of yourself in the midst of the situation, you understand this, that better is coming. You understand that I refuse to not aim high because I was scared of missing it. And I only aim low because I decide to hit it. No, I'm going to shift my aim. And if my aim is off, I'm going to direct it towards a different target. Right? Even if I shoot for the moon and miss it, at least I land amongst a star, because that's how I see myself. I'm going to shine bright in the midst of dark times. That's the mindset that you got to adopt. That's the mindset if you're going to conquer. That's the mindset if you're going to win every single day. That's the mindset if you're going to win your month, if you're going to win the 24 hours. I told you your 2024 is specifically connected to how you use your 24. Got to say, better's coming my way. Greatness is coming out of my mess. And in many cases, a lot of times we do a lot of affirmations, but we don't put in the work to change the situation. Yes, I know your words create your world. I know what you speak into the atmosphere will appear. I know you on the tip of your tongue is your future or your funeral. But hear me, faith without works ain't gonna work. You have to understand that everything that you have gone through, you have to see it as a teachable moment. Too many times we're asking, why did this happen to me? And I was one of those. Sometimes you go through that and you say, why? When I went through cancer, I say, why me? I had my own doctor tell me, don't even ask that question. I said, you my physician, you ain't my psychologist. You ain't gonna control what I'm thinking. But in many cases, a lot of times we ask that why me situation. I remember at the height of COVID, I have these, one of my favorite pair of glasses broke. I remember it just like it was yesterday. I mean, just one of my favorite pair of glasses broke. I set them down to the side and I didn't realize that they were on the floor. I'm moving 100 miles a minute, at the crib, and I stepped on the glasses. And I looked down at the glasses like, I don't know if you made a mistake and wasn't nobody else around and you couldn't blame nobody else but yourself. Like I'm trying to blame somebody who's invisible. I ain't got nobody else to blame but me. I did it. Right? I break the glasses, step on the glasses. I'm looking like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe I broke the glasses. The lenses were fine. The frame broke. And I don't know if you've ever been in a situation, a place where the frame and the foundation and the structure of your life had just simply just broken, just out of the blue. You were riding high on cloud 9 and everything was going right, 0 to 100 real quick. Your life was just moving quick, fast, in a hurry. And then all of a sudden, now you had to stop and hit the brakes and come to a screeching halt. Frame of your finances broke. Frame of your relationship broke. The frame of your psychology, the frame of how you view your life broke. The frame of your friendships broke. Your foundational faith frame broke. And all of a sudden, I'm looking at my glasses. I'm picking them up. One side in one hand, one side in the other hand. And all of a sudden, it's like as clear as day. And I heard God speak to me. He said, everything you were looking through is no longer working for you. I'm looking like, what? I don't know if you ever got a revelation out of just of a mundane situation. Everyday situation. I am everyday people. That's what the song said. So I deal with everyday situations, everyday circumstances. Maybe y'all saying, listen, you ain't never broke your glasses. Well, pray for me then. Pray that these stay intact. But I heard it clear as day. Everything you were looking through is no longer working for you. Why? Because your vision was too small. I got to enlarge it. And sometimes to build back better, what you're so used to and accustomed to has to be broken. And sometimes it ain't other people. Y'all want to talk about that one now. Sometimes it ain't other people. You can't blame nobody. You can't blame nobody on this one. You did it. They didn't break your heart. You broke your own. They didn't spend all your money. You spent all your own. Come on. When we stop shifting the blame to other people and we start taking accountability for our own behaviors, for our own actions, now we find clarity in the midst of the calamity. Now we find revelation in the midst of the situation. Everything that you were looking through is no longer working for you. Why? Because it's too small for you. It had to be broken. It had to end. It had to be sifted. It had to be blockaded. You had to go in a different direction. Certain things had to align this way. The dominoes of your life had to fall. The heartbreak had to happen. The tears had to flow. You had to be brought to your knees, because now it puts you in position to begin to hear and to begin to get divine direction. I don't know. Am I the only one in this? Listen, as I'm talking, I need you to start liking. I need you to like. I need you to comment. I need you to share. I need you to subscribe on the YouTube side. I will get up. I will get all up in this screen. Don't push me because I'm close to the edge. I'm not gonna get all the way up because I'll lose my head. Yeah, I need you to like. I need you to comment. I need you to share. I need you to subscribe. If you know I'm talking to you, I need you to just respond. Like, comment, share, subscribe, particularly on the YouTube side. You took an L. Sometimes, hear me. Sometimes we just got to take the L. But I need you to understand this about the L. The L is not a loss, it's a lesson. Yeah. The L is not about being a liability. The L is about you adopting skills for leadership. The L is about you now seeing that there's more love that lives inside of you. The L is about you not leaning to your own understanding, because if you lean to your own understanding, you always fall. But if you trust God, you'll stand tall. The L that you supposedly took, that you saw as a loss, was about now that you were able to be led by the Lord. And why is that? Why is that? When I understand that I took a L as not a loss, as a lesson, is what I've learned, it's for leadership. It's about me not leaning to my own understanding. It's about me actually rolling up my sleeves and doing the laborious work of what it takes to make my life work. It is about me following what the Lord wants me to do. And here it is. Because I have now learned, because I put certain things into practice, now I can turn back and teach. Hear me. What you go through is not to hide it. It's to inspire somebody else to make it. This is what we want to do. We want to bottle up all of our L's and we want to just live our lives muted. We allow shame and the stigma to silence us rather than speaking truth to power. Rather than understanding that I cannot teach what I have not learned. And then when I have learned it, I have a mandate to teach it. I have a mandate to train. I have a mandate to empower. I have a mandate to inspire. You have to understand this. You have to learn how to be the student in a particular season. And you got to allow God to mature you to be a teacher in the next season. Sometimes we're trying to teach when we ought to be learning. When we ought to be listening. When we ought to be finding revelation. Here's what qualifies you to be the teacher. What qualifies you to be the teacher is by learning the lessons as a student. Why? Because you've studied to show yourself approved. I've not just learned the lesson. I put the lesson into practice. I've taken the time to process. I've taken the time to heal. I've taken the time to address the trauma. I've taken the time to find wisdom from my wounds. I've taken the time to find out what will I do with what was most painful to now make it more purposeful. Ladies and gentlemen, there's no testimony without a test. There's no message without a mess. There's no stepping stone oftentimes without a stumbling block. There's no strategy without a tragedy. There's no grace oftentimes without grief. We want to live our lives oftentimes always on the mountaintop. But hear me, the valley has some teachable moments. The valley is a setup for victory. There are some lessons that we must learn, and there are some tests that we must pass, or we'll continue to repeat where we should have repaired. Oh, come on, that's good. That's good. You talking tonight, Eddie. You ain't gonna tell me. I'm gonna tell myself. David said, I'm gonna encourage myself in the Lord. That's what I'm gonna do tonight. Let me say it again. There's some lessons that we must learn. There's some tests that we must pass. If we don't, we are going to continue to repeat what we should have repaired. And hear me. Rather than moving into a place of instruction and following instruction, it'll lead to destruction. And the destruction will not just end or begin with you. It will affect your family. It'll affect your community. It'll affect your generation. It'll affect your children and your children's children. Somebody just typed tonight. Take the L. Take the L. Take the lesson. Take the learning. Take the leadership. Use the loss to level up. There's levels to this. We rise into another level. Listen, as you're tuning in tonight, I appreciate y'all rocking with me as you're tuning in tonight. This is the mix at 6. This is the mix at 6. If you are not a part of our amazing Eagles Academy, what are you doing? What are you doing? I need you to be a part of our amazing Eagles Academy. And you say, well, what is the Eagles Academy about? It's all designed to empower you to soar into success and purpose. It's just simply an online community where I empower you. I teach, I coach, I mentor, I train. I go above and beyond what I just do here on YouTube. And it provides you access to a thriving community of gifted leaders, of accountability partners to network with, to share ideas, to engage and to develop business strategies that you can employ in your vision, in your life, to see provision. We develop innovative skills, give you solutions to really make your life work, to strategize, to mobilize, to organize. We have hundreds of masterclass sessions that you can binge watch at your disposal. Where we're talking about relationships, we're talking about financial empowerment and development. We're talking about making your gifts work, growing closer to God, tapping into your greatness. Again, coaching, mentoring, training. We do it each and every single week, Wednesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Somebody's saying, say less. I need to be a part of it because I know I'm getting blessed just on YouTube. I can only imagine what I'm going to get in the Eagles Academy. Go right now. www. I don't even need to say www anymore. The EaglesAcademy.com/join. Just go to the EaglesAcademy.com. And this is what I'm going to do tonight. Since y'all are rocking with me, I'm giving 40% off on membership. Membership has its privileges. So I'm giving you access to our amazing Eagles Academy for 40% off. All you have to do, put in the coupon code, the word, simply this, SOAR, SOAR. Somebody type SOAR tonight. Type SOAR. No, I'm not feeling sore. I want to soar. 40% off using the word, 4 letters, SOAR, SOAR. So the EaglesAcademy.com. And I'm going to share a little bit more towards the tail end. But let's take it to another level. Let's take it to another level. I'm never out of time. I'm never out of truth. Sometimes I'm just out of time. But we still got a little time. Here's one of the things that, as we're talking about finding purpose from your pain, moving from pain to purpose, one of the main things is, as I said tonight before, is about finding wisdom from your wounds. And here's one thing I realized. Sometimes the teacher is most quietest during the test. I'm not hearing anything. I'm not getting anything. Could it possibly be maybe that you're in a season of testing? And how you handle your season of testing will hinge on whether or not you are progressing. The testing is a setup for the progressing. But here's the thing. How are you handling the testing? People often convey that, their teacher taught them a lesson. And that is, they use it from a monetary aspect. Keep your eyes on your own paper. And they apply that same philosophy to securing the bag. Got my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Focusing on their money. However, the lesson that we fail to focus on is what I was specifically saying and conveying. Oftentimes, the teacher is quietest during the test. The teacher is not just quiet because they're trying to tell you to just put your mind on your money and focus your fix on your paper. No, the teaching and the testing are interconnected because you cannot teach, hear me, what you have not been tested on. You can't teach on how to handle anything if you ain't never been through nothing. Or if you just keep trying to avoid certain things. For many of us looking to go to another level, looking to take it to another gear this year, certain things we ain't gonna be able to go over, not gonna be able to go around, not gonna be able to go under it. You just gonna have to go through it. Because going through it causes you to grow through it. You're not just going through, you're growing through. There's something that is being built. There's something that's tenacious. There's something that's important. There's something that's unique. There's something that's too unique to compete. There's something that's too rare to compare. That's being built inside of you to say, listen, I'm not worried about what somebody else is doing at their desk. I'm just focused on what the teacher told me. And I understand that if the teacher's quiet, it means I got to be focused on me passing this test. Till you pass the test, you can never be at your best. You got to discover the truth in your trauma so that when you heal from trauma, you don't exact that same trauma to somebody else. You now teach people how to overcome it. You now teach people what is the mindset that you have to adopt. Hear me on this, on what it takes to live through dying places. We got to reframe the game, because oftentimes when we go through trauma, in many cases, sometimes we're still steeped in it because a lot of people have not just gone through it or grown through it. People now become bitter as a result of it. They have not become better because of it. If you still upset at your father, whether they are alive, whether he is dead, whether he has gone on, whether he has passed, mother, family member, whatever the case may be, and you still have not appropriated that trauma into something that you are moving into a place of transformation, you have wasted the moment. Why? Because you have not asked the question. You've asked the question why, but you have not asked the question what. What was I supposed to learn? What was I supposed to gain? What was I supposed to develop from this situation? When people have been coming at you and they're despondent, they're upset because you moving, you're up leveling, you're taking your life to another level. They see in you sometimes what you don't see in yourself. They see you aspiring higher. They see your gift making room for you. You got to understand this. Whoever you intimidate will be who you eliminate. And you have to delineate, what is it that I should learn from this situation? I can't allow life to process me. I got to process what I'm going through. I can't be bitter as a result of it. I got to be better because of it. Certain people weren't there for you, but now as you start your family, now as you develop yourself, you're going to be there for them. Certain men are better fathers simply because they didn't have one. Certain women are better mothers simply because their mother didn't show up for them. Because they don't want anybody else to experience that same hurt. And so now they live their life differently because they didn't just ask, why did this happen to me? They asked, what did I need to learn? Right? And how is it that I'm supposed to go through this and grow through this? Listen, people don't invite speakers. People don't invite teachers to share about the obstacle that they're still trying to overcome. The audience doesn't want to hear about your problems. Here's a statistic for you today. Oftentimes, 80% of people don't care about your problems. 20% are glad you have them. It's a statistic worth repeating. Oftentimes, 80% of people don't care about your problems. 20% are glad you have them. That's generally 100%. Right? People come to hear solutions about how you've overcome your problems. If you're still in the problem, it's a teachable moment. We got too many people trying to teach from the problem what it is that they've been experiencing. They don't teach any solution. They don't teach any strategy because they're still in the teachable moment stage. Put your head back in that hole. Close that door back again Get the lesson so that now you don't spew anything out of hate. You don't spew anything out of bitterness, but the lesson becomes a blessing. You can't teach me how to heal if you still hurt. You can't teach me how to be a millionaire if you still broke. Let's wait until you get healed. Let's wait until you get your money right. Wait till I get my money right. La, 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 la. Then you can't tell me nothing, right? Excuse me, is you saying something? Don't say nothing. Just have several seats. Right? You have to pass the test on how to become better so that you don't wind up and keep people in a bitter situation. I think I could sing a little bit. So hear me. I want to give a few things. I want to give a few things tonight. I want to give a few strategies on really moving from pain to purpose. And you say, man, you already gave a few strategies. You got more? Yeah, there's more where that came from. I talked about self-awareness last night. Yesterday's session, I talked about mindfulness, practicing mindfulness. Talked about finding grace from grief as well. One thing is this that we have to do is that we have to validate our experience. We got to validate our experience. Validating your experience, right? Two people can go through the same thing and have a different philosophy about it. We can all read the same book and none of us will interpret it the same way because we're unique. We're distinct. We're not clones. We're not copies. We're originals. So what we have to do is that we have to validate our experience. Somebody can go through the same thing as you and they telling you, stop crying. Man up, woman up. It ain't that bad. But they ain't you. And you ain't them. And you can't allow people to make you feel less than because you feel more than. Let me say that again. You can't allow people to make you feel less than because you feel more than other people. You may just be a highly sensitive person. You may be a highly emotional person. Nothing is wrong with that. Is how you appropriate and process that emotion. You can't allow your emotions to govern your life and now allow that to lead you. But validating your experiences coming from the place to say, you know what? Yes, what I have experienced, it was hurtful. It's real. It's tangible. This really hurt me because oftentimes we numb ourselves to what it is that we go through. You can't fight what you refuse to face. You can't address what you won't confess. You can't heal from what you won't deal with. Until you look the man or the woman in the mirror, until you look the situation in the mirror to validate the experience, to name it, to quantify it, to clarify it, to give it context of the traumatic stress or the PTSD, the post-traumatic stress disorder is what, as I was talking about yesterday, what Dr. Joy DeGroy talked about, post-traumatic slave syndrome, the trauma that we carry in our DNA from our ancestors, that has been a generational cycle that must be broken, moves you into a place to say, because this may have happened to me, what I feel is not my fault. There's nothing wrong with you. What you have been through, the emotions that you feel, the triggers of what it is that brings up the trauma and the abscess of what it is that you have gone through is a normal response to abnormal experiences. Somebody extended that you thought was going to extend a hand out to heal you and help you, but they wound up hurting you and harming you, taking your innocence in your childhood. And you're supposed to just live your life normally? No. You have to deal with that. You have to unwrap that. You have to go through therapy and counseling and deal with a myriad of situations and all of the things that are ingrained that in many cases will affect your mental health from time to time, possibly. what you're experiencing, you validating your experience, is actually a normal response to abnormal circumstances. You got to remind yourself that this is what I am feeling. I got to remind myself that I can grow through these challenging circumstances. You'll never heal without first self-validating. You'll never heal if you don't deal with what it is that you've been through. You can't get to the place of purpose until you move into the place of process. And I got to process that pain. When I process the pain, what was painful now becomes purposeful. Here's another thing. When we're dealing with trauma, we can't ignore the elephant in the room. And that is, we got to seek support. We got to seek support. Healing from trauma, just like healing from any other sickness, healing from a broken bone, healing from an injury, is best done under the care of health professionals, especially with support from loved ones. And oftentimes, especially in our community, counseling, therapy has just been taboo. Nah, we can't see it as taboo. It's got to be for me and you. All we say is just pray it out. Gave it over to Jesus, now stop worrying about it. Prayer is a necessity. We ain't knocking that at all. But we gotta connect prayer to counseling. In the multitude of counselors, there is safety. We got to connect prayer to therapy. Physician, heal thyself. We got to connect prayer to people who have the spiritual and the practical, who can get us through things that we believe are permanent, but they're just temporary. It's just situational. Right? You got to have a safe space in place of supported friends, of supported loved ones, of people who actually want to see you grow, to where you can talk about your experiences and people won't misjudge you. They won't mischaracterize you. They won't see you as somebody who's not strong simply because you had a weak moment, or because you unveiled your weaknesses to them and now they don't use those weaknesses against you. Right? Having guidance from people who are guided. So what we got to do? Got to validate our experience. We got to seek support. We also have to move into this place of what we have to do is we have to maintain a positive mindset. We have to understand that our mindset matters. Come on, just type that tonight. Just type that tonight. Mindset matters. If I'm going to shift from pain to purpose, if I'm going to find wisdom from my wounds, I got to understand that mindset matters. What's between my ears makes a difference. If I think little of myself, I'm going to do little for myself. If I think much of myself, I'm going to do much for myself. Scripture denotes and scripture quotes Philippians 4:8, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, and whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise. Think on these things. Don't walk away from these things. Don't avoid these things. Don't try to reframe and rewrite these things. No, I got to think on these things. I got to think on things that are praiseworthy. I got to think on things that are honest, that are just, that are true, that are lovely. I got to adjust my mindset simply because it matters. How do I know my mindset matters so much? neuropsychologist, gentleman by the name of Dr. Rick Hansen. He says this. He says, thinking positive for 12 seconds. Here's what happens. Thinking positive for 12 seconds assist in the creation of new neurons, new neuron connections in your brain. Notice I didn't say you got to think positive for 24 hours. That would be the operative thing to do. But many times we don't do that. But Dr. Rick Hansen, neuropsychologist, says this, that if you think positive for just 12 seconds, it assists in the development, in the creation of new neurons within the brain. I challenge you tonight. I challenge you today. I challenge you to go through your day and think of something positive. I challenge you to challenge yourself. I challenge you to begin to adopt that. It may be a flower, it may be a beautiful sunset, it may be just visions of the ocean and the waves cascading against the rocks. It may be a smile on someone's face. It may be the fact that the weeping is only going to endure for a night, but joy is coming. And the tears that flow are watering the seed for your harvest. It may be you skipping through a field. It may be you seeing yourself at the finish line of you reaching the goal that has been so deep and entrenched within your soul. It may be the compliment that you received. It may be the compliment that you give yourself. Maybe the affirmation that you start your day with. Whatever it is, I want you to meditate on that. I want you to think positive. Maybe it's 12-second intervals in your day. But as you think positive for those 12 seconds, you're developing a new mindset, right? And as you focus on it for those 12 seconds, as you focus on it even longer than 12 seconds, to where you understand it ain't a sprint, it's a marathon. I want you to notice the impact that it begins to frame on your mind. I want you to notice the impact that it begins to shift in your spirit. I want you to notice the impact of how it elevates your emotions. The power of you shifting your mindset has the ability to replace stress with that which is blessed. It has the ability to reshape what was fearful into now that which becomes faithful. What I love about those 12 seconds is that it reminds me of Romans 12:2. That I can't be conformed to this world. I got to be transformed, not by the renewing of my lease, not by the renewing of your marital vows. We champion that. Not by the renewing of the lease or the mortgage. Not by the renewing of anything else, of your car insurance. No, I'm only transformed by the renewing of my mind. And as you focus on that positive power for those 12 seconds, it's going to renew your mind. Somebody just type 12. Somebody just type 12 in the chat. Type 12 in the chat. Type 12 tonight. And here's what I love about 12. 12 can be multiplied. 12 can be doubled. When you double 12, you get 24. Your 2024 is going to be based on how you think, how you live, how you give, how you level up, how you shift pain into purpose, how you find wisdom from your wounds, how you get double from all of the tragedy, the trauma, and the trouble of what it is that you've experienced, to where now you can stand triumphant. I'm not just going to do it for 12 seconds. Not just going to think positive for 12 seconds. I'm going to double it because I expect more in 2024. And my 2024 is going to be based on how I use my 24 hours. And even in many cases, how I double my 12 and how I think positive for 24 seconds. Listen, if you got something from this tonight, just type me. If I was talking to you, just type me. Clarity tonight. Clarity. Me. Yeah. This is for you tonight. Just type me. While I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me too. Friend of mine, I'm gonna end it with this tonight. Friend of mine knows a very famous gospel singer. If I were to say their name, you would know them. And one day they called him up and said, "Man, I can't stop listening to this song you put out." And it was on the charts, I think maybe 4 straight weeks at number 1, maybe even longer than that. He says to him, I just can't stop listening to the song. How were you able to write this song? How were you able to make this a hit? And here's what the gospel singer said. He said, for me to write a hit, I had to first get hit. I'm talking better than y'all typing back to me tonight. For me to write a hit, I had to first get hit. It can't touch you until it first touches me. It can't touch nobody else until it first touches you. When you find purpose from the pain, that's when your life becomes more powerful. How do you respond to the hit? In the movie Creed, maybe it's Creed 2, Rocky says to Michael B. Jordan, he says to him, life is about more than just being hit. It's how you respond after being hit that matters. Everybody's going to get hit. But how do you respond to the hit? Do you go higher? Or do you allow yourself to live level low? What's going to cause you to write your hit? What's going to be the hit website that you create? What's going to be the hit song that you pen? What's going to be the hit degree that you go after? What's going to be the hit idea that people are clamoring for? It's time to find wisdom from your wounds. Listen, if you don't have any of my products, I pen with a purpose. Got 2 of my books here. If you don't have them, 2 of my 16 identity keys to discover your uniqueness, unlock your greatness. Got another one, The Mask of Masculinity, how men can reclaim their identity, lead in love with vulnerability, irrespective of gender. It's a book for men and the women who love us. And this book is definitely for everybody. This is going to frame your identity in relationships, in your own life, in your purpose. Somebody's waiting for you to become who you are so they can become who they're supposed to be. How much longer will you make them wait? You're wondering, are they on Amazon? Yes, they are. Along with my other books, they're there. You can get a signed copy of my books. Go to EddieConnorJr.com/shop. Put some respect on my name, please. Thank you for the lower thirds. I got one of the greatest producers in the land. Put $100,000 on it. EddieConnor.com/shop. You can go get a signed copy there. Also, I've got some amazing material that will take your life to another level. I believe I got some authors out there. I believe I got some people who want to write books. I believe I got some people who want to increase their sales. Come on, I know I'm talking to you. Holler if you hear me. You want to write a book. I've got the blueprint to help you to do it. For many years, people have been asking me, hey, can you help me write a book? Can you help me write a book? Well, what's your motto? What's your message? How do you write the books? How do you been able to do 16 books in a short span of time? Say less. It's called the bestseller book blueprint. I'm showing you how to write your book, how to increase sales, how to become an industry authority as an author, how to take your manuscript to the marketplace. In any setting, I've been able to sell books, whether it's at a barbershop, whether it's at a conference with thousands of people, whether it's in a church setting. I've been able to do it, right? I've been able to market my message the right way and being able to share something with people where it speaks volumes to their life, right? I want you to get the bestseller book blueprint. You can go get that at the eaglesacademy.com/store. Can we throw that up there? The eaglesacademy.com/store. And as you go there, I'm going to empower you to soar. I'm showing you how to grow your greatness. I'm giving you resources, strategies, solutions, tools to build your greatness and to build who it is that you are. I got something else out there as well. Successful speaker strategies. Communication connects to currency. Communication connects to cash flow. You know what the real aspect and the real essence of communication is all about? Communication is about connection. Are you connecting when you're speaking? There is an art of communication. Your words are a paintbrush. What picture are you painting when you're speaking? For many years, I used to be shy about speaking in front of people. Communication doesn't have to be something that is, so tough and so frightening to you. But you can communicate confidently. You can develop your signature story. You can empower the world with your words. You can wow your audience and be invited back. I'm showing you how to do that in my 4.5-hour video digital training. I have a free ebook out there for you, right on the eaglesacademy.com/store. It's called More in 2024. How to become more in 2024 and also how to make it your most successful year. Download that. Download the bestseller book blueprint. Download the successful speaker strategies. I've got something out there as well. 4 steps to be a phenomenal speaker. It's on that same site. And then, of course, I want you to make sure that you join the Eagles Academy. You need to be a part of a thriving community. You need to be a part of people who understand that it's more about collaboration and competition. That their network determines their net worth. That they want to experience transformation. They're doing that on a weekly basis. That I'm showing you how to get there from here. And the steps and the strategies and the solutions on how to build your business, how to take your relationships to another level, how to reframe your mindset, how to heal from the traumatic experiences of what it is that you've been through, how to really develop who it is that you are and the gift that you have that's on the inside of you. This is the academy for you. Go right now, theeaglesacademy.com/store. And this is what I'm going to do tonight. I already said I was giving you 40% off of membership on the academy. And I can't wait for my session tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. We do that right after I go live on the mix at 6 right here. But I'm going to give 40% off on everything that I have tonight. Yeah, everything. The bestseller book blueprint, 40% off. The successful speaker strategies, the 4 steps to be a phenomenal speaker. Of course, the Eagles Academy as well. You say, well, how do I get the 40% off? I'm so glad that you asked. Put in the word SOAR at checkout. SOAR. That's what we're doing. We soar into another level in 2024. Put in the word SOAR at checkout, and you will get 40% off on all of my resources, all of my strategies, all of my solutions that will show you how to grow your greatness. Listen, if you got something from this tonight, I need you to like, I need you to comment, I need you to share, I need you to subscribe. Come on, let's do that. Let's do that. Some of y'all watching me on YouTube and you didn't hit the subscribe button. Let's change that. Let's do that. I need you to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. We're doing this again tomorrow. If you got something from this tonight at all, I need you to like. I need you to comment. I need you to share. I need you to subscribe. You know how the algorithm is. Let's beat the algorithm at his own game. Somebody needs this message tonight. Share this message with somebody. That's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. Share this message with somebody tonight. John Eggleston, appreciate you. Tracy, appreciate you. Rachel G said, I'm in your devotion. That's confirmation. Smitty, mindset matters. Kenya, you said, the Mix at 6 with Dr. Eddie is lit. Look forward to it. Like my favorite nightly TV show. That's where I like it. I like that. I like that. I like that. Appreciate that. Thank you, Dr. Connor. As Smitty said, from California. Cali in the building. Let's do that. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Come on, let's beat the algorithm at his own game. Because this ain't a game. We're moving from pain to purpose. We're finding wisdom from our wounds. And this is what it's about. In the Mix at 6, every single day at 6 p.m. Yeah, weekends too. I know, right? Why am I doing all this? The answer is simple. I only got one goal this year. My goal in 2024 is to help you achieve yours. That's it. That's the only reason I'm doing it. Zig Ziglar said, if you help people get what they want, you'll get what you want. And what I want is to see you win. And I guarantee, if you spread your wings, you will win. Smitty, you said, what's the Cash App? I appreciate you. $ access identity. There you go, right? I don't know what's happening. It's like my words are merging with the lower thirds and they just coming up at the same time. It's not scripted. Cash App, $ access identity. I guess when you're in the flow, it ain't a force. Keep on with the force. Don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. $ access identity. If you want to grow, I encourage you to sow. Yeah, I think I'm good ground. I think the content is good ground as well. So stick around. In the Mix at 6, we'll be back tomorrow. Join my Eagles Academy, eaglesacademy.com/store. Use the code SOAR to get 40% off. Peace and love. I love y'all. I'll see you tomorrow in the Mix at 6. I'll see you at 6. Spread your wings. Let's win.